Hey everyone, so today we're going to look into maps in Rust and how you can use them inside of an option type in Rust. So I'm going to give you a very specific example, right? So we're going to create a function like check user, right? Check user, and it's going to take a name which should be of type borrowed string, a string slice, what we like to call, and what it's going to return is an option type. So the option type is going to be an I32. It can return, so option type, a quick demonstrate, quick, small info about option type. It can return some value, it can return none value. It's a built-in type, it's a built-in enum. I think it's called an enum. It's a built-in enum inside Rust. So we're gonna call this check user, right? And we are going to check. So it's gonna provide us a name, and we're gonna provide user with an ID. That's what the user can do, right? So what we're gonna do first is like we're gonna create a lowercase version of that. So we're gonna do like const lowercase. You know what? Lowercase name equals it's gonna be name dot to lowercase, right? And we're gonna have that, and then now we're gonna match this lowercase name, and we're gonna convert it to owned, because to compare it, it has to be owned. And now what we're gonna do is like if the name is any of like gem, for example, if the name is gem, we're gonna return a sum of, like, for example, 1, right? That's a valid ID. That's a valid I32 integer that we can return. So the name is like sans, then, right, a sand or sans, from the game. I forgot the name of the game. Okay, so we can return sum of 5, or if the name is lan, I don't know if that's even a name, lan, or Ian is a good word. Ian, right? And it's gonna return a sum of I don't know. This will probably take a 69. I simply don't care. So anything else, we're gonna return none. So an option I32 is like mismatch type found string, expected was string and found. Oh wait, hold on. What's happening? Oh, raw string. No. I don't want to do that. I think I can just do this, right? Because it gives me a string. Okay. I think the main function was not found, that's why. Alright, let's go with our main, and we can do this now. I think it'll like oh, I forgot this. That's why. Okay, there you go. We're returning null, and it's saying a mismatch type, expected types to be struct but found a small struct. So to lowercase returns a full string, but since we are taking the string, I think we have to convert it to to owned for it to work. Is it to owned? I think it is to owned. To lowercase does return a capitalized string, but for some reason it just doesn't want to work with that. To lower string gives us a capitalized string, and match is gonna take. I think match takes the entire object, right? Yep. That should be correct. Let's just keep coding. Let's just see like what else it's gonna throw. For now, let's just create a user. Let user underscore name equals, right, and we're gonna call it Sam for now, right? And I mean, I deliberately misspelled it. So what we can do is like I always keep writing sense. So const user equals find user, check user, right? And then like it's gonna take the user underscore name, right? And now what you can do is like you can check a map over it, so it'll only execute if the user exists. So if it throws none, it will not execute. And we can write for example, so it's gonna give us an ID, like valid ID. And now what we can return from it is like we can create a struct from it, struct in it. So struct user, it's gonna have an ID. ID is gonna be I32, and it's gonna have a name. Name should be of type string, right? That's good. So when you have that, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna return user, and we're gonna have an ID of the ID. We can just write it like that, and the name should be user underscore name. And now we should be able to print this. So what we're gonna do is like we're gonna add a derived debug over it, so that we can we can like log it out properly. So it's gonna be derive, and we're gonna have a debug inside of it. So derive debug, and oh, what is happening here? It is derive debug, right? It should be inside a function. Wait, it should be inside a. Oh, I forgot. It should be inside of this. All right, there you go. And derive. Is it? I think it's derive. Okay, there you go. So this is good. So it found a user. So we have to be converted it to owned, right? So that we can create this, and now we can print line. So oh wait. It doesn't take the user if it does not find the user, right? Because the map only iterates if the value is present. If it's not, then if it will not. That's why it is also an option type of user. So we can match over it. So match the user, and if some user is found, oh wait, match the user, and if some user is found inside of it, then we can actually go ahead and log it out. If some user is found, what we can do now is we can print line with a debug token and the user, the U for user, and if none is found, then we can just simply do nothing. I think we can simply do nothing for this. And now when we try to compile it, our console is going to throw an error. It says like this expression has type string, and Ian expected struct string and found borrowed string. So what we can do, can we tell it as string? Will it work if I do this? Yep, I think that will. And the struct user is being returned over here. Field ID never read. Oh, it is not dead code. It is not dead code at all. Okay. So what I did is like I added add string over here because it also returns a string slice because it wanted to be a string slice. You can convert it into a string slice as add string. And now what you can do is like you can run it and it will run, and it didn't find any user. So for example, if I now change this to a valid value for something like san, right, and we run it, now we get, I think we get the value. There you go. We found the user. We created the user. So this might not make any sense, but this is like a note for myself. So thank you for watching.